Welcome to the Bob McKinnon Show. This is Dr. Bob, and I'm glad you tuned me in. If this is your first time here, I trust it won't be the last. Anything can happen, from spoken word to golden oldies, from easy listening, jazz, instrumental hits, to whatever you need. So sit back, put up your feet, and let it happen.
Bob, I don't know if I'd call this an episode, but it's certainly a vignette. I wanted to share a poem that has greatly influenced me since I stumbled upon it years ago. There's a mildly interesting story behind my finding it. I was attending a new consolidated high school in North Carolina, and back then I was bused to school in a two-step process. The first leg of the trip was from my home to the local elementary school, which happened to be called Farm Life Elementary. It was a short trip from there to Union Pines High School. Coming to North Carolina from the Long Island area of New York, I was greatly amused by the elementary school name Farm Life. Prior to the consolidation of the local high school into one larger one, Farm Life was a high school, though a very small one. With this conversion to an elementary school, the high school level books in the library were obsolete, not to mention ancient. The school system decided to dispose of the books on a first-come, first-served basis. I didn't learn of the free books until the end of the week, and few were left. The remaining books were dumped in a pile in the middle of the library, ready to be trashed. I picked one up to check it out. What a pitiful specimen it was. The cover had fallen away years ago. Most of the pages suffered water damage and were stuck together. Started to toss it back on the pile when I noticed some writing, apparently from a teenage girl. Her remarks were to an errant boyfriend who had toyed with her affections, only to dump her. You can imagine the angst and the vitriol dripping from her pen. Naturally, it piqued my interest, so I took the book home to see if I could unearth additional comments in the bound pages. Unfortunately, I found no more tantalizing glimpses of that 1920s romance gone wrong. What I did find was this poem by Edward Rowland Sill. It spoke to my heart and has guided the way I treat people, and I hope it strikes a responsive chord in you. So enjoy. This is The Fool's Prayer by Edward Rowland Sill.
The Fool's Prayer by Edward Rowland Sill. The royal feast was done. The king sought some new sport to banish care, and to his jester cried, "Sir Fool, kneel now and make for us a prayer." The jester doffed his cap and bells, and stood the mocking court before. They could not see the bitter smile behind the painted grin he wore. He bowed his head, and bent his knee upon the monarch's silken stool. His pleading voice arose, "O Lord, be merciful to me a fool." No pity, Lord, could change the heart from red with wrong to white as wool. The rod must heal the sin, but Lord, be merciful to me a fool. 'Tis not by guilt the onward sweep of truth and right, O Lord, we stay. 'Tis by our follies that so long we hold the earth from heaven away. These clumsy feet, still in the mire, go crushing blossoms without end. These hard, well-meaning hands we thrust among the heartstrings of a friend. The ill-timed truth we might have kept. Who knows how sharp it pierced and stung? The words we had not sense to say, who knows how grandly it had rung? Our faults no tenderness should ask, the chastening stripes must cleanse them all. But for our blunders, oh, in shame before the eyes of heaven we fall. Earth bears no balsam for mistakes. Men crown the knave and scourge the tool that did his will. But thou, O Lord, be merciful to me a fool. The room was hushed. In silence rose the king, and sought his gardens cool, and walked apart, and murmured low, "Be merciful to me a fool."
Well, this is the end of this episode, or vignette, and as soon as we get the technical glitches worked out of what we're doing, we will have a full-length program. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any comments or recommendations, put them in the suggestions. Thanks.